Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again here on YouTube. Today I got a review to give you that was kindly suggested to me by a follower and friend of mine on social media and of this channel, Joseph Hyde. So thanks for that, dude. I really appreciate the kind suggestion. So without further ado, let's check out the DVD review of WWE Cyber Sunday 2008. So this is a Silver Vision release here in the UK, 15 certificate. They decided to use CM Punk as the poster face. Not sure why. Well, I kind of understand why, how popular he was back then, but well, I'll explain more as we get into the pay-per-view. He wasn't really in any of the main matches, or if any match at all, but we'll cover that when we get to it. So yeah, he's the main face of the front cover artwork here, and in the background we have a few fans holding cell phones, mobile phones, whatever you want to call them, to cast their votes, I guess. So this is the pay-per-view where the WWE Universe is in control. They get to pick the match type, or match stipulation, whatever, or the opponent for the champion of a certain match. Bit similar to Taboo Tuesday. So this is the third Cyber Sunday in the WWE Cyber Sunday series. First one being the one in 2006, followed by the one in 2007. And to my knowledge, this is the final Cyber Sunday that they did. There were two Taboo Tuesdays before this as well, 2004 and 2005, which had the same kind of concept for the pay-per-view. So here we go with the spine, disc, and adverts. Make your mark. Build your own wrestler online at silvervision.co.uk. And adverts for then new releases from WWE, ranging from pay-per-views to best ofs and the history of the Intercontinental Championship. And then we have an advert on the back for WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2009. Alone, you're great. Together, you're unstoppable. And here's the back. So this was held at the US Airways Center, at Phoenix, in Phoenix, Arizona, on October 26th, 2008. The main theme music in the background, which was really cool, by the way, I enjoyed listening to that throughout the show, was Propane Nightmare by Pendulum. We had 7,981 in attendance and 153,000 buy rate. And we kicked things off with a Rey Mysterio versus Kane match, which was voted to be a no-holds-barred match. The other choices, I know one of them was a 2 out of 3 falls. I can't remember what the other one was, but the no-holds-barred match was the best pick out of all of them. That's the one I wanted, and that's the one we got. That's the one the fans, or the WWE Universe, if you want, chose. And yeah, Rey Mysterio versus Kane, kind of David versus Goliath, but by this point, Rey Mysterio was used to fighting so many giants throughout his career. And he managed to beat quite a few giants as well, especially in his WCW days during the late 90s when he lost his mask. He went on a bit of a winning streak, beating the likes of Bam Bam Bigelow and Kevin Nash, just to name a few. And so yeah, he was used to slaying giants, and I'm sure he beat Kane 1 or 2 times here, and in WWE that is. And this match in particular, he's victorious against Kane. Very good, entertaining match. It's quite surprising, really, because it's like speed versus strength. I expected the strength of the Monster Kane to have played a big part here, but Rey Mysterio had the weapons, at his disposal, in his arsenal or whatever, to help him out, to take down the big guy, the big monster, the big red machine. And he took advantage of that, and it paid off well. And he managed to get the big guy down for the 1, 2, 3, and pick up the victory. And yeah, very good stuff. Very cool. I was happy with the outcome. Even though I'm a big fan of Kane, I do like Rey Mysterio as well. And the match was pretty fun, and I did enjoy it. Give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Yeah, great stuff. Great way to open up the pay-per-view. Next up, we had the ECW Championship on the line as Matt Hardy waited to see who the WWE Universe picked for him as his challenger. And as you can see there, it's Evan Bourne. The other two choices were Fit Finlay and who was the other dude? Oh, Mark Henry, beg your pardon. Yeah, I think I wanted Mark Henry as my pick, but we got Evan Bourne, and it was good that the WWE Universe picked him. He was pretty cool, and they both had a very good competitive match, very evenly matched as well, and it was very close, but it was Matt Hardy who managed to retain after delivering a twist of fate to Evan Bourne, and true sportsmanship shown afterwards as Matt Hardy shook Evan Bourne's hand. Yeah, another good match for this pay-per-view. Even though it wasn't the challenger who I wanted to go after Matt Hardy, being Mark Henry, that is. But Evan Bourne still very competitive challenger, and I enjoyed it. It's pretty cool. Another 3 stars out of 5 for this match. Next up, very bizarre this one. So the fans were given a choice of what tag team match they wanted to see. So there was one that we have here now, which you can see on the back. So Crime Time versus John Morrison and The Miz. That's the one the WWE Universe picked. But the other two choices were Jamie Noble and Mickie James taking on Layla and William Regal, which to me didn't really sound that interesting or that appealing or whatever. And the other choice, which I'm quite shocked the fans didn't go with, was for the WWE, I think it was Raw Tag Team Championship at the time, and it was Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase as the champions taking on CM Punk and Kofi Kingston, the challengers. That was the one I wanted to happen on the card, and obviously the WWE Universe didn't pick that one, and that's what I was saying earlier about it's strange how they still kept CM Punk as the face of the front cover artwork and the poster for this, if you know what I mean, if he didn't really get picked. I think this could have been one of the reasons what pissed off Vince McMahon and the booking team and everything else, because they probably wanted that match as well for the tag team championship over this Crime Time versus John Morrison and Miz match. Nothing wrong with both of these teams, don't get me wrong, they are pretty awesome, but no pun intended there from the Miz, by the way. But I honestly wanted to see the tag team championship on the line. The other match, as I said, CM Punk and Kofi Kingston challenging Ted DiBiase and Cody Rhodes. That would have been more of a fun match for me, I think. But saying that though, this one didn't really disappoint me as such. As I said, both teams pretty entertaining, and it was The Miz and John Morrison picking up the victory here. Interesting team of John Morrison and The Miz. I mean, they've been together on and off so many times over the years as well. They always gelled well together. They got great in-ring chemistry, and they're quite funny together with their interviews, promos, and everything else, backstage stuff. Very good. And I could see how popular Crime Time were with the fans as well, or the WWE Universe, if you will. It took a lot of getting used to. It still does now, calling them the WWE Universe. I don't even like referring to them as them either, because they're fans at the end of the day, WWE fans. But I remember like the TNA had the TNA Galaxy, didn't they? And that didn't really take off as well as the WWE Universe did. But never mind. There's a story for another day, I guess, or not. Who knows? But yeah, tag match itself, 2.5 out of 5 stars. I give that one. Morrison and Miz picking up the victory, if I didn't say that already. And next up we had Santino Marella going on about how long he's been Intercontinental Champion for with the Hong tachometer, I think it is, at the graphic at the bottom of the screen of how many days he's been champ or some bullshit. I never really did like that whole storyline and everything else. And the fans had to choose out of there you go, I said fans again. I'm going to say fans because they're fucking fans. WWE Universal, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Fans, okay, or WWE Universe, whatever you want to call them. They had a choice of the Honky Tonk Man, Goldust, and Rowdy Roddy Piper, and they chose that fucking idiot Honky Tonk Man, the Elvis Presley impersonator. How this guy managed to stay as Intercontinental Champion as long as he did, holding that record for such a long time, is beyond me. I mean, I just never really understood the gimmick itself. Well, I did. I just didn't understand the popularity of it. Even today, I get people telling me how cool Honky Tonk Man was, and I'm thinking to myself, this is an Elvis fucking Presley ripoff. What the fuck? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, the match itself, when it finally began, after them both, I don't know, just exchanging words what felt like forever, it was pretty poor. I didn't like the match at all. It wasn't entertaining, and it was Honky Tonk Man who managed to pick up the victory via disqualification after Beth Phoenix had tried to trip Honky Tonk Man, and the referee caught her. So Santino managed to retain, but he'd lost at the same time, and Honky Tonk Man winning by DQ. Santino Marella taking his frustrations out on Beth Phoenix outside the ring after the match, and as they were walking up the entrance ramp, out came Goldust and Rowdy Roddy Piper, who attacked Santino Marella and then got him in the ring. And then there was a 3-on-1 beatdown from Honky Tonk Man, Goldust, and Rowdy Roddy Piper on Santino Marella, which was entertaining, more entertaining than the match itself, but very bizarre as well at the same time, having three faces beat down a hill. But that's just my opinion on that, guys. But it was fun though, and Honky Tonk Man delivered the shake, rattle and roll, I think his shit move is, I can't fucking remember. And he slipped on Goldust's wig, which was very entertaining as well. And he brings that up in the extra, in the special feature there, the Honky Tonk Man, Roddy Piper, Goldust argue over who was the greatest Intercontinental Champion backstage after this match as the special feature. That's quite funny. But apart from that, yeah, the match itself, absolute shit. And then like what went on before the match with them both exchanging words, Honky Tonk Man and Santino Marella, as I said, felt like forever. I didn't like any of that. But the after match, the post match beatdown, that was fun. So I give it 2 stars. I'm generous because of that. 2 stars, and then a bit of comic relief as well, where as I said, Honky Tonk Man slid on Goldust's wig. But yeah, 2 out of 5 stars. Next up, we had what I would consider possible match of the evening. It was a last man standing match between The Undertaker and Big Show. Both of these massive monsters were pretty evenly matched, and I've got to be honest with you guys, before the match even began, before the bell even rang, I thought to myself, do I need to see another Undertaker versus Big Show match? We've seen so many of them over the years. I remember during the Attitude Era we had a few, and over the course of time they've just had so many matches together, it's kind of boring. But I was very surprised of how entertaining this was. And yeah, there were like moments in the match where it looked like Undertaker was struggling to get up to beat the 10 count. There was an example of this outside the ring when the Big Show had chokeslammed the Undertaker through the commentator's desk, table, whatever, and Undertaker struggled to get up for to beat the 10 count, and it looked like referee Charles Robinson was trying to help him up, And I was thinking to myself, hey, you can't do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know. It's what it looked like. It probably wasn't that, but it came across as that. And there was also another moment in the ring where Taker had to beat the 10 count again, and Charles Robinson was like he was trying to cheer on Undertaker, go on, get to your feet, kind of thing, like, rather than playing it fair, unbiased down the middle. Shame on you, Charles Robinson. Do you know what I mean? What would Ric Flair say? You're supposed to be little Nate. What are you doing this shit for? Why are you trying to help Undertaker beat the Big Show? But no, it wasn't the case. I don't think it was, guys. If you go back and watch this match, you'll see what I mean, though. You'll pick up on these little things. But other than that, very entertaining, and the Undertaker managed to put Hell's Gate on Big Show, who tapped, but it didn't count because it was obviously a last man standing match. But not long after that, managed to, knock out Big Show for the 10 count, pick up the victory. And yeah, like as I said, this was quite surprisingly entertaining. Nothing against both wrestlers, but as I said at the beginning, I wasn't really looking forward to it, but it did pay off well. It's been a very long time since I watched this pay-per-view as well, guys, so I went into this kind of like my mind had been wiped, kind of thing, like one of those Men in Black devices. Look at this for a moment, please, sir, and then they wipe your mind. That's kind of how this felt going into this. I've watched hundreds and hundreds of pay-per-views since this one, so if you can appreciate where I'm coming from with that as well, going into some of the older pay-per-views, it's quite fun again, but at the same time, your memory does start to come back from certain little things that happen. But yeah, it was a good match, and I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Very, very good. So well done, Taker and Big Show, for that one. Throughout the night, in between each of the matches, we were treated to different video packages of divas in their Halloween costumes in preparation for the Divas Halloween costume contest, which was after the Undertaker versus Big Show match. And well, back then, obviously, the female wrestlers were divas, and they were just used more as eye candy rather than taken seriously as actual competitive in-ring wrestlers, which was such a shame, really. But at the same time, if you've got a mind like the Beatdown Bunny or Jerry the King Lawler, then you probably ain't going to mind it too much. Some of the Halloween costumes ranged from Layla, dressed as Princess Leia from Star Wars, someone dressed as a Raphael Ninja Turtle, I think it was. There was also someone dressed as Batgirl. Sorry, I can't remember who it was now. I should have written some of these down, really. We had Taryn Terrell. What the fuck was she called in WWE? Tiffany, I think it was. Sorry if I got that wrong, guys. Yeah, Tiffany as a nun, which was quite interesting. We had Mickey James as Lara Croft. It was like a fucking Comic-Con convention as well, rather than a Halloween costume contest. It was very bizarre. And also I had my eye on Maria Kanellis dressed as a bunny, and she had a giant carrot in her hand, and I was thinking, well, I can give her my giant carrot if she drops that one. Anyway, moving on. The choices were pretty awesome, and it was obvious who the fans were going to choose, and it was Mickey James. And I can't say I was too disappointed. Obviously, I wanted the bunny to win, Maria Kanellis. Sorry you didn't win that. Oh, poor Maria. Anyways, yeah, and then they had all of the divas had like this little brawl afterwards when they're trying to rip each other's clothes off. There was also Victoria dressed as a banana as well, which was very fucking bizarre. What a weird costume to have. You know what I mean? If you're trying to win this thing, you make more of an effort and dress as a fucking banana. Do you know what I mean? What the hell's that all about? But yeah, it was it was entertaining, I guess, for 5 minutes. Entertaining for the likes of Jerry the King Lawler, that is, and maybe a certain bunny as well. Anyway, What do I star rate this? I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll go on entertainment. How entertained I was out of 5, 2.5. You know, it didn't go on for too long, thankfully, even though it was, as I said, entertaining in the way where you were very. It was hard. It was distracting, hard to take your eyes off everything going on. Each of the costumes, most of them anyway. Not the giant fucking banana, but or the Star Wars one that wasn't very good either. But the rest of them are pretty awesome. But overall, yeah, pretty good stuff, and well done, Mickey James as Lara Croft from Tomb Raider for winning this Divas Halloween costume contest at Cyber Sunday 2008. Next, we go on to the main event then. It's a WWE Championship match. Triple H versus Jeff Hardy. The other two choices the WWE Universe had were a triple threat match. So we would have had Triple H versus Jeff Hardy and Vladimir Kozlov. And the third choice was Triple H one-on-one with Vladimir Kozlov. And obviously we ended up with Triple H versus Jeff Hardy. And I think this also may have pissed off Vince McMahon and the booking committee. I remember reading something about it back when I used to read Power Slam magazine around this kind of time, that they weren't happy with the outcome of who the WWE Universe had picked here. Obviously, it was good that they went with Jeff Hardy. He was a good opponent for Triple H, and obviously I was happy. But I think WWE were pushing Vladimir Kozlov throughout 2008, and they wanted him to challenge for Triple H's championship around this time, making him a credible contender. But that wasn't to be. I mean, the numbers and the percentage as well on the graphics were very low, and obviously the Jeff Hardy choice, which the WWE Universe had backed, was at a very high percentage. And and then we were treated to Jeff Hardy versus Triple H for the WWE Championship. I said main event. I beg your pardon, guys. Semi-main event. But yeah, with the awesome music hitting of "Don't You See the Writings on the Wall" by I can't remember the name of the band. Yeah, the song's called "No More Words." The Jeff Hardy theme. Absolutely love that one. Cracking tune. Jeff Hardy's always had really good theme music over the years, and that's one of the better ones, definitely. Really got the fans all pumped and ready to get into this match. And Jeff really went for it, and very competitive match, very entertaining as well. And unfortunately, Jeff Hardy wasn't going to win here, and it was Triple H who retains. It was still good though for what it was, even though it wasn't what WWE wanted. Maybe if fans had voted for Vladimir Kozlov, do you think the championship would have dropped to Vladimir Kozlov? What do you think, guys? I don't know. It's a possibility, isn't it? But anyway, I think after that, Vladimir Kozlov's WWE career just went downhill, and it's a shame, really. I found him quite interesting, but he needed more time to be built up, I guess. And I guess this was a missed opportunity for him, thanks to the WWE Universe. But yeah, the Triple H versus Jeff Hardy match out of 5, I gave a 3.5 stars. So it's pretty good. Unfortunately, as I said, Jeff Hardy didn't win here, but there you go. Can't have everything, can you? Next, we had the main event this time. So apologies if I said the other one was the main event, the Triple H Jeff Hardy match. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so this time it is the main event. So we have a World Heavyweight Championship match. Chris Jericho putting his world title on the line against Batista, with a special guest referee choice of Stone Cold Steve Austin, Randy Orton, or Shawn Michaels. And the fans, or the WWE Universe, went with Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's probably the choice I would have went with as well, to be fair, out of the 3 choices. No disrespect to HBK or Randy Orton, but Stone Cold, definitely. And you can see how popular Stone Cold was even back in 2008 here at this pay-per-view, just over 5 years after he'd wrestled his last match for the company, and at that time, that is. And we were still seeing fans with the "Fuck Fear Drink Beer" t-shirts in the crowd, which was pretty cool. And obviously with the Rattlesnakes theme music hitting, and coming down dressed as the ref, dressed like a zebra, you know what I mean? It was pretty good atmosphere. The match itself, very fun. And before the match itself even began, there was, in between one of the other matches, I forgot to say, Chris Jericho, excuse me guys, Chris Jericho had asked the Great Khali to be his like bodyguard or something, or a bit of backup, a bit of muscle power for the match. And Great Khali turned him down. And Jericho even went to the then Raw general manager, I think his name was Mike Adamle, and asked him to take out the special guest referee stipulation, and he wasn't having any of it. So yeah, we went into this match. Poor Chris Jericho went into this match even, against the odds, I guess, and he just threw everything he had at Batista, and it did look like for a while that Jericho was going to retain. Stone Cold Steve Austin had been knocked out. Out came Shawn Michaels to attack Jericho, and Michaels was then met by JBL, who took out HBK. We then had Randy Orton run out, and Jericho grabbed a chair. So Randy Orton was ready to deliver an RKO to Batista, who was trying to get back to his feet. Jericho had a steel chair, and Jericho used the chair, and Randy Orton made the cover. 1, 2, Batista kicks out. Then Austin recovers. Batista hits a Batista bomb on Chris Jericho. And Batista becomes World Heavyweight Champion at Cyber Sunday 2008, which is pretty cool. I wasn't expecting that. I knew he did win it back at some point, but I didn't know it was at this particular pay-per-view. I'd completely forgotten about that. So as I said, going into this with my mind completely kind of blank, I guess. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I can remember now. Yeah, after it had happened, but it was still cool to see it again, relive it again, and yeah, congrats to Batista for doing that. So yeah, that was a 3.5 out of 5 stars for that main event Jericho and Batista match for the World Heavyweight Championship, with Stone Cold Steve Austin as special guest referee. Even though we did have the other two referees come in as well eventually. HBK and Randy Orton, that is. So they all played a part in the match in the end anyway. Yeah, the special features, as I said earlier, with the Honky Tonk Man, Roddy Piper and Goldust arguing over who was the greatest Intercontinental Champion, was fun. And as I said, they mentioned about the Honky Tonk Man slipping on the Goldust wig thing. It's quite a funny little segment backstage for what it was. And a nice little special feature for this disc. And another special feature which we had was Shelton Benjamin against R-Truth, WWE.com preview match, United States Championship match. Again, the WWE Universe could have also voted for Festus and MVP, but we had R-Truth instead. He's like, Phoenix, Arizona, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? You know what I mean? But I actually wanted it to be Festus. That would have been fun. But yeah, we had R-Truth. R-Truth, he gave it all he could, and he wasn't very successful at trying to take Shelton Benjamin's United States Championship, unfortunately. It was a very short match as well, something like 6-7 minutes long. But for what it was fun. There's another added extra to this disc, and a good pre-show match, I guess. But yeah, overall, guys, I give this Cyber Sunday 2008 a 7 out of 10. There's some good matches there. And then we had, obviously, the Divas Halloween costume contest, which was fun if you like that kind of thing. Disappointed that we didn't get to see CM Punk on the actual pay-per-view wrestle himself. Or not wrestle himself. Obviously, that would be weird. How the fuck would he wrestle himself? No, himself wrestle on the pay-per-view. But we have him, as I said, on the front cover. So it's just, a bit of a strange one, that. But, it is what it is. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. I hope you all enjoyed this today. And yeah, it was fun to revisit this. So all of you stay safe, and I'll chat to you in the comments, or I'll see you again in the next video. Goodbye for now.